gyönyörű barna üvegben.
Megyünk egy folyosón. Sötét folyosón. Na.
Entering the clothes changing facility.
Okay.
Clothes changing facility, especially for the visitors.
Yes, okay.
Well, go inside.
Öltözés. Ó, szuper. Itt is lesz öltözködő. Fel kell venni a vizitoroknak való ruházat. Ez már very good, ez már az atomerőmű, gyerekek. Ez bebasz. Oda basz. Csű, azért ez historiám, ez vágjátok azért. Ez megvan, hogy történelem. Kínai neon kiégve. Hello. Kínai neon kiégve. Diszkó. Azért ezt átérzem, ezt a helyet, nem fiam? Good.
We are at the beginning of the so-called golden corridor. Well, of course it's not golden. Yeah, it's aluminium.
Yeah.
This very material was used after the accident as shielding. At first, these very rooms, they were decontaminated and then covered with this very material as a protection, as shielding. First of all, for the personnel, to minimize their exposure. Right. It's this very corridor. It's rather long. It's approximately a kilometer long. It connects all the three units, and going along this very corridor, we come very close to the entrance of unit number 4. But we don't go into the inner rooms of unit number. Wow, we don't go there. We will go to the inner rooms of unit number 3. Right. All the control rooms of unit number 1, 2 and 3, they are located on the left. All the reactors, all the reactor departments, all the central halls, they are on the right. The reactors are a little bit high. Now we are at Mach plus 9. The reactors are located at Mach plus 20. So RBMK type reactors. 4 reactors of this type were operated at the Chernobyl site before the accident in April 1986. Water-cooled, graphite moderated channel type reactors, high capacity reactors, 1,000 megawatt of electrical capacity, 3,200 megawatt of thermal capacity, very powerful nuclear installations. 4 reactors of such capacity, of such type, were operated. Reactor number 5 and reactor number 6, they were under construction in 1986. Reactor 5, 85% readiness. Pre-commissioning works were in progress. After the accident, all the activity was stopped. Before the accident, it was planned to construct 6 more reactors at the Chernobyl site on the other bank of the Pripyat River. All in all, there should be 12. 12, just imagine. So, Chernobyl nuclear power plant, it should be one of the most powerful power plant in the world, in Europe, right?
I can
but
imagine.
the accident at unit number 4, it has changed everything.
Yes.
Everything in the life of the Chernobyl site, everything in the life of people working here, everything, a lot of in the field of power engineering, right? First of all, it has changed the human's attitude to the generation of electrical power, to the operation of nuclear facilities.
Yes.
It has changed the human's attitude to the issues of safety, first of all, the culture of safety. What was very important? The culture of safety. Right. Okay, let's go.
Ez de durva. 12 reaktor lett volna, ha elkészül, csak a 4-es minden megváltoztatott. De nem megyünk a 4-esig, of course.
These very containers, these are special containers for their individual means of protection. Used individual means of protection. Yes, when we will be back, your masks, used masks should be here. Okay, thanks.
Hát visszafele lepakoljuk ezek a személyes védelmi felszereléseknek a gyűjtőhelye, igen. Azt a kurva gyerekek, ez de durva hely. Egyel több szekrény van a szobában, tudtad? Itt az 1-es irányítója balra. Don't.
Attention, have a look at this very device.
Yeah.
A device for measuring the level of surface contamination for the shift personnel. Yeah, it's a rule for the shift personnel to measure, a requirement for them to measure the level of surface contamination several times per shift. The shift lasts 12 hours. 12 hours, yes. Well, if the light is green, the controlled level is not exceeded. If the light is red, it means that the controlled level is exceeded. The controlled level for hands, for shoes, for clothes. Well, what is necessary to do? First, to wash hands with cold water. Not warm water, cold water. Otherwise your pores will be broadened and radioactive particles may get into your skin.
Yes.
Right? So cold water. Then once again measuring. If the situation is not changed, you have to address the dosimetry service. Special sanitary treatment with using special materials for decontamination. Right? So then their responsibility. By the by, the shift personnel, it's a rule for them. They have to wash hands before going to the toilet room, as they work in a contaminated area, and after.
After.
Yes, you wash just after, they wash twice, before and after. Okay, let's go.
Nem durva. Ez a golden corridor. Azt. Na, smoking.
Можем вас навестить, или сейчас не время? So that is the central control room. We will visit them when we will be back.
Yes, okay.
They have a meeting.
Okay. Már foglalt valaki, már meetinggel bent, előző csoport van.
Words about the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Yeah, you know that it was the first to be constructed and commissioned in Ukraine. The so-called the first bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the construction, not here.
Ennyi film.
So the construction of it started, of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, it started at the end of 60s, last century.
Last century,
Yes. And the first two reactors, reactor number 1 and 2, they were commissioned at the end of 70s. 77, 1978. Yeah, relatively.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So that is the control room of unit number 2. Let's go. You know that Chernobyl nuclear power plant, it was the so-called Komsomol construction.
Yes, we know.
Do you understand?
We understand.
Yeah. Some of you understand.
Yes.
I personally also. Yes, I was a member of the Komsomol organization.
Really?
A youth organization in the Soviet Union. So a lot of young people, young engineers, young workers.
Fiatalok nem tudják, hogy mi a komszomol.
They come here to be involved in the construction of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and then
Csipogunk? Bakker. Atomerőmbe csipog a vízjelző. Bak. Hello.
watch your steps, please. Watch your steps here.
Yes, apám. Azért nem egy ilyen biztosítás ez a helyte. Azt a kurva. Hú. Amilyen tákolmányfalak, meg minden van itt. Még folytatódik.
So, yes, pictures line up. Okay.
Lehet fotózni.
So, Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
Előttünk a szarkofág, csak így mondom.
Before the accident, imagine 150 billion kilowatt hours of electrical power were generated before the explosion. 158 billion kilowatt hours of electrical power were generated after the explosion. Yeah, a very powerful nuclear installation. Yeah. Nowadays, all the reactors at the Chernobyl site are shut down. Reactor number 3, it was the last one, which was shut down in December 2000. Since that time, Chernobyl nuclear power plant hasn't operated reactors of such time. Ukraine hasn't operated reactors of such time. Nowadays, 4 nuclear power plants are in Ukraine, are operated in Ukraine. But these are another type of reactors. These are water and water reactors, not RBMK type reactors. Right? So after the last reactor, the 3rd reactor was shut down, half a year after, in 2001, the new state specialized enterprise was arranged based on the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. And it was, the basic activity of this very enterprise was decommissioning.
Yes.
So, all the reactors are shut down. It doesn't mean that they are locked, right?
Yes, locked.
As just like the shelter facility downstairs. No. Yes. Nowadays, the activity within the decommissioning strategy is very actively in progress.
Yes.
When we start, you see, we were the first to be operated, to be commissioned.
Yeah.
And nowadays, also we are the first in Ukraine to be decommissioned. When we start this very activity, we had no normative documentation. We had no national experience. We had no financing.
Yeah.
We had no infrastructure. We had nothing. You know, it was a political decision. You know, that there was an agreement between the government of Ukraine and G7 countries to shut down the last reactor, as they were considered not safety enough after the accident, in spite of all the improvements which were made, which were introduced at all the 3 RBMK type reactors here. In spite of it, the reactors, RBMK type reactors, they were considered not safety enough. That's why they should be shut down. So this very activity, decommissioning activity, so special strategy was developed especially for the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. And this very activity is in progress now. The preparatory stage, the preparatory works, they have been already completed for this activity. The basic task of this very stage was to release reactors out of nuclear fuel. Nowadays, all the reactors, they are empty. There is no fuel, inside. No fuel in the reactors, no fuel in the spent fuel pools. No. All the fuel was taken out and transported to this very facility, just in front of you. A grey cube with ladders in front of you. That is the spent fuel storage facility. All the 21,000 fuel assemblies, spent fuel assemblies, they are stored here. The fuel assemblies, spent fuel, which was accumulated within the years of operation. It's of wet type storage facility. Its lifetime has come to an end. Once it was prolonged by our regulatory body, it cannot be prolonged anymore. That's why it's so urgent for us to commission and use.
Na most akkor beléptünk a gombokhoz. Reggeli filmet itt néztük.
Please do not cross restricted lines.
Ne lépj át a...
You can see the equipment, which is electrical equipment. Please do not cross these very lines. This very room, especially has been chosen for you to show, to demonstrate, as it is quite the same in the control room of unit number 4. You know that reactors 3 and 4, they were constructed in one and the same building. So they were just like located just like in a mirror. Twins, right. So for you just to imagine what was the situation, what was the environment on that very night when the accident at unit number 4 happened. Here you can see the working places of a reactor control engineer. That is the working place of reactor control engineer. Unit controlling, here's a unit control engineer, right? Then the main circulating pumps control engineer and turbine equipment control engineer. All the information was accumulated by the unit shift supervisor. That is his working place. That is his working place. You know perfectly well that on that very night the equipment testing should be conducted. it was necessary to get the information whether it was possible to use the kinetic energy of the tuba generator as an additional source of power supply for the main circulating pumps. Yeah. Just an ordinary situation, nothing special. Yeah. The personnel was ready to conduct this very work in a daytime on the 25th of April. But the regulatory body didn't give a permit to start these very works because of a lack of capacity in a unified energy system. Right? 2 days before the accident, they began to lower the capacity of reactor number 4. As these very works, they should be conducted at only 700 megawatt of thermal capacity. So they began to lower the capacity. Yeah. So in fact, a reactor was operated for a rather long term at a low capacity. Right. 2 hours before the event, they continued to lower their capacity up till the level which was specified in a program.
It's a video.
Were taken out of the reactor core, yeah, and the number of these very rods was too much than it was specified in a normative documentation. That was the first mistake. Right.
Megyünk a hosszú folyosó végén a 4-es felé, de hát nem megyünk be még. Azért elég ramagy ezek a falok, az ugye elnézem, reped a fal.
That is the entrance to unit number 4.
Unit number 4.
Go here. It's closed for you.
Close. Where is the key?
It's a big ship ladder, the so-called. We'll go to unit number 3.
2,500 euro and open this door.
Yeah.
Úgy fotózzátok a 4-est.
Csináltam 2-t, nem jó? Gyere, fotózz le!
Alarm van, baszki. Gyerekek, ez aztán is... How much is? Mennyi az érték? 6? Fú, baszki. Na, tipli. Már nem. Gyerekek, már alarm van. Yes. Gyertek, come on.
Okay.
Почему в обратную сторону идете?
Почему в обратную?
Оттуда так.
Na, szí. Itt sugárzás van.
Теперь все в обратно можно дорогу найти.
Да, да. Окей.
Húha.
Счастливо.
Давай.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. Megyünk, baszki, a 4-es felrobban 4-es felé. Riasztások vannak. Hanyas szinten riasztunk? 3,2, még nem is vagyunk a határértéken.
It's a special wall. It's a wall which separates unit number 3 and unit number 4. The destroyed reactor 4 is here. Right. The primary thing after the accident was to ensure the safe operation of unit number 3. You know that these reactors, 3 and 4, they were constructed in one and the same building. Yeah? They had common systems. common equipment.
Yeah.
That's why it was necessary to separate, to ensure the safety operation of unit number 3. That's why this very wall was constructed between them. It's very thick. So 2-3 meters in some places thick, right?
Yeah.
Now we are near the memorial. It's a memorial to Valery Hodinchuk. He was the senior operator of the main circulating pumps. You know, 30 persons. That was the shift, the night shift of unit number 4. These very people, they worked on that very night at unit number 4. 29 of them, they were hospitalized, being extremely highly exposed, right? Having radioactive burnings. Moscow and Kiev. He, the only one person who was not
found.
Yeah, who had a very high temperature. Maybe he was in the area where the structures were collapsed. His friends, his colleagues, they tried to find, but imagine how highly were the levels of radiation just after the accident. Yeah, some of them got not one lethal dose. Well, they were not a success. They didn't find him. So, the destroyed reactor 4, it had become the so-called the last home for him, right? Nowadays, his family, his children, his widow, they come here. They have no any other place to honor the memory of their father, of husband, yes. So, symbolically, it's his figure, right? And this is the left hand of his widow. It's a tradition already, yeah? They come here in April days to honor the memory of Valery Hodinchuk. In such a way, they are together now. You see? And that is the memorial not only for him, for all those who died, for all those who didn't leave their working places, who decided to do everything possible and impossible, yeah, to renew the control over the situation. Yeah. Who realized the risks perfectly well. They were not newcomers, they were natives. Yes, they saw by their own eyes what had happened. They saw the destroyed reactor. They realized the risk for their health, for their life. But they didn't leave their working places. They continued to fulfill their duties, their responsibilities. And the price of it. In one of the documents, I have found such a figure. The total damage of the Chernobyl accident, including everything, the total damage. It was estimated by the Ministry of Finance of the Soviet Union at that time, and it was 20 billion Soviet rubles. Just imagine, 20 billion, yeah, but the highest price which we paid, it was the price of human life. Yeah, human life. Okay, let's go.
Ennyi, pár méter, mondta a néni. Egy pár méter választnám el csak a 4-estől bennünket. Ó, gyere ki. Siess. Fuck.
Nem csinálsz azért. Azt tettem, hogy ide nem tudnak máshol megemlékezni, csak de ide járhatnak? Nem érdekel.
Hát most építik le a bontáson.
És mi lesz az emlékműben?
Ja, nem tudom, menjél csak. Menj, menj, menj.
The reactor is between them. The reactor is here.
Yeah.
Reactor number 3. Reactor number 4 is in this area. Usually 8 main circulation pumps were at each unit. 8. Yeah. They were designed to ensure the circulation of a coolant, water, in a primary circuit. Yeah, very powerful devices.
Yeah.
7,000 cubic meters of water per hour. Yeah. The electrical capacity 5.5 megawatt.
Oof.
5.5. You can see only part of it. A height of which is 16 meters. By the way, you can go to this very bell, take a picture, and go back.
Okay.
Well, you can go into this very area, but be very careful.
Yeah, okay.
We can go to this very area. But watch your step, please.
Ez egy marha nagy villanymotorám. Igen, Pakson is láttunk ilyet. Akkora víztárolók vannak, mint az 5-ösbe alattunk, itt nagy üreg van, és itt a motor, az a motor. És alatta itt mi a tengelykapcsoló, itt a tengelykapcsoló, és így megy le a motor. Emlékszel az 5-ösnek az aljára, hogy ott alattunk mekkora gödrök voltak? Na, akkora propellerek pörögnek alattunk is. Fú, mekkora motorok, ez egy villanymotor ám, ez amit látsz. A többi része lent van. Ilyet láttunk közében, és a Tam Paksi medencében külön volt egy lóva, egy zöld. Milyen dübölgése lehet neki, mikor ez megy? De szivattyúk, ezek kurva nagy villanymotorok, és alatta vannak a nagy turbinák, mint az 5-ösben azok a nagy gödrik. Lent van a kerék, a forgókerék, ami a vizet szivattyúzza. És alattunk a vízrendszer van, nagy gödrök, amiket látunk az 5-ösbe is. És azon a csövön jött be a hűtése neki? Mert a hűtése, hogy azon a csövön jött be a hűtése neki a motornak. Mert volt egy kurva nagy csövek, amin a hűtés kellett kapja.
See integrated automated monitoring system of the shelter object of the destroyed Unit 4. After the accident, the basic risk was the so-called fuel-containing materials which were generated, which were produced as a result of the explosion. Fuel, yeah. The temperature at the moment of the explosion came to thousands. Fuel melted, and it was mixed with various materials which were dropped inside from helicopters. The tasks were, first of all, to stop the chain reaction, to localize fire, to minimize radioactive emissions. That's why a lot of various materials, all in all, 15,000 tons of sand, soil, lead, boric acid, dolomite, they were dropped inside from helicopters. Yes, and these very materials, they were mixed, and melted. Yeah. That's why now we have all in all 1,300 tons of fuel materials, all in all. 1,300 tons. including, first of all, lava masses, including spent fuel assemblies which are still inside in one of the spent fuel pools without water. Then radioactive dust, which is constantly produced and produced. Just imagine about 4 tons of dust are inside the destroyed Unit 4. 4 tons. And it was a very complicated task to localize this very dust within the facility, which was initially not sealed. Right? Then contaminated water also represents, still represents a risk now. These are the so-called modifications of fuel-containing material. And the basic task nowadays is to keep them under control, to control their behavior and their condition. And this very system, it's a new equipment. It is operated since 2011, a new system, and first of all, it ensures radioactive safety and nuclear safety. The basic parameters, such as the level of gamma, beta, alpha radiation, the concentration of aerosols, the neutron flux density, these are continuously under control. And we have detectors that are shown here at this very monitor, the detectors which were mounted at a certain room, at a certain mark, at a certain level, and the engineer, it can control. You see, the color is green, that everything is within the established norms. The control level is not exceeded. Well, here the shift personnel can compare the situation, can keep under control the situation inside. That is one of the basic tasks. That is to ensure safety inside. So, first of all, radiation and nuclear safety. Then, pay attention to this very monitor. That is the location of seismic stations at the site, not only at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant site, but in a 30-kilometer area they are located. Frankly speaking, Chernobyl site is not seismically risky, no. But here we can fix the impact of earthquakes. For example, somewhere in Hungary, somewhere in Romania, yes, we can fix this very situation. It's very important here, as nowadays a very huge facility, arch structure, the new safe confinement structure, which nowadays weighs 37,000 tons. Just imagine. It's very important to control the seismic situation at the site. 37,000 tons, the facility, right? Well, this very monitor, that is the result, these green structures, that is a result of the completion of the stabilization project. You know, the shelter facility, which was constructed over the destroyed reactor 4 after the accident in 1986. Only 6 months lasted the construction. The structures of the shelter, they were just placed, they were just positioned. There was no any interconnection, because the levels of radiation were so high. So initially the shelter, it was not as sealed. 18 post-accident years, there was a risk of local collapse. That's why the decision was taken to reinforce, to stabilize, first of all, the existing shelter. And that is the illustration, the only one zone, the only one area where the stabilization measures were completed. Right? The problem was in this very wall, which was not stable. After the accident, these are beams, I will show you at the model maybe, when we will be at the observation pavilion, it will be more clear. Yeah. So beams, they were placed on this very wall, but there was a risk of their collapse to the west, of this wall collapse to the west. Steel support structures were positioned in this very area. The beams, they were prolonged and jacked, right? This very wall, it was taken out and transferred to these newly installed structures. Nowadays, even if it collapses, yeah, the beams, the roof will be supported by these newly installed structures. Yeah. The works, they were extremely important. Yeah. We stabilized the shelter in the north, in the south. We repaired the roof, western area. These very works, they were important, extremely important, as they have ensured the sufficient level of stability. Yeah. Stability at least within 15 years. The works were completed in 2008, plus 15 years. In fact, we have time up till 2000.
Percet kaptunk a kettesbe. 2 minutes, okay. Very fast, harder. Good. Little bit older technology. Gyerekek.
That is the control room of unit number 2.
Ott a kép a izének reaktornak.
Baszki.
Okay, the area which is here, that is the electrical equipment, which is still in operation. That's why the entrance is forbidden. That is the electrical equipment. Pay attention to this very monitor. It's the central hall. Yeah, the central hall. Here you can see the upper reactor plate. Yeah, this 1,661 all in all, right? And you can see a real picture of the central hall. At unit number 4. At reactor, number 2. At the moment of the explosion of reactor, the upper reactor plate, it was used as biological shielding of urban type reactor. Yes, it jumped outdoor switch gears, the equipment which is located at the Chernobyl site. It is used for transmitting of electrical power to the other suppliers, to the other regions. Yeah, the electrical power is transmitted.
Lehet, hogy benzines tényleg. Oké. Ez a hang. De attól még jó hallani a hangját. És enni meg nem akarok. Figyeld, bedobja a sebességbe. Azt a bázikus.
It is connected with the equipment on physical protection and access control. And the security service nowadays doesn't allow the visitors to take pictures through the window.
Yes.
When you will be outside, downstairs, near the monument, you will take pictures in this direction, but not from the window.
Okay.
So unfortunately nowadays there is no possibility for the visitors to have a look at the shelter in the original. As you know that at the end of 2016, the new facility, the arch-shaped structure, the new safe confinement, it was placed into its design position. That is over the shelter.
Yeah.
The shelter, the destroyed Unit 4, they are inside now. But we have a very detailed model.
Yeah.
A very interesting model. Well, let me open it. Okay. Sorry.
Oh.
A model which illustrates the environment inside the destroyed Unit 4 and destroyed reactor. Yeah. That is the situation now inside. Yeah. A reactor core just in front of you. A reactor core which was completely destroyed as a result of the accident.
Okay.
Before the accident, the reactor was charged completely. 190 tons of uranium oxide were inside. Low enrichment uranium oxide, 2% enrichment. It means that each ton of it contains approximately 20 kilos of nuclear fuel. Well, as a result of the explosion, part of fuel was thrown outside. Another reactor plate, we have seen it on one of the monitors at the control room of unit number 2. Yeah, this very structure, it stood like this, right? As a result of the explosion, it jumped almost 30 meters high, destroyed the roof, and then it stood back on the reactor vessel. Right, it weighs more than 2,000 tons. Just imagine what was their power, the capacity of the explosion. After the accident, the levels of gamma radiation, alpha radiation, beta radiation were not high. They were deadly high. Yeah. Just imagine the exposure dose rate of gamma. Near the destroyed unit, it was about 5 sievert per hour, 500 Röntgen per hour. Closer to the destroyed reactor, it was already about 50 sieverts, 5,000 Röntgen per hour. Just imagine those who were the first at the place of the explosion, in what radioactive environment, risky environment they worked. They worked minutes per day. Yeah, just imagine. And for these very minutes, 2, 3, 5 minutes, they got a yearly dose. The first task, one of the first tasks after the accident was radiological survey. It was necessary to get this initial information, what had happened to a destroyed reactor, what had happened to fuel. So, helicopter pilots, yes, they started to work at the site the next day after the accident, the 27th of April 1986. Yeah. Well,